All right, guys. So, welcome back. Unfortunately, I think the previous video I made where I worked on this really didn't work out in terms of being able to get downloaded. So, what I thought was to walk you through what I did after I started that line drawing. So, I talked about getting the information in here, and you can see I wiped some of this out. I talked about this bridge in here, or the dock actually, and how I wasn't happy with how wide it was down in here. And I went back in and reworked it, right? I talked about dropping in information down in here, not trying to describe look, it's a gray shape. Why do you want to describe all those posts and rails in there, right? I talked about building them this way, about, paying attention to this shape in here, that shape and that shape. Thinking about this area in here as more, value and texture. About setting the drawing up in a certain way and being able to work back in and erase out areas. Not getting caught up in I need to get every board in here, because I think I initially went in in here and made some marks saying here are the boards in here, right? Talking about, I know I have a lot of eraser marks in here and how I'm going to have to work this so that they get suppressed into the surface. Talking about this area right here where I want to establish a dark and do what I did in the sky and ocean drawing that I started yesterday with the white Conte on top of the dark India ink. I talked about going in here and dropping in this really, just this initial texture inside this shape, right? And doing this in here. Now over here I've done more work, and what I've done over there is I'm just taking the willow and I'm in here going pretty much like that. And now I'm not looking to get a smooth surface at the top of the trees, because it's not smooth. It's rough, right? And I also want to talk about how I'm not going to try to create the same value across here or the same texture across here. I'm going to go in at times with the point of the willow and work it up into the India ink area, right? And I'm going to back off and make it lighter at times, because it's not one flat value across there. There's stuff happening there, and if we zoomed in, we would see it. I talked about creating a cloud line in here by dampening that shape and dropping your India ink in. Now, over in here, it seems to work pretty well, right? The bleeding thing over in there. But as I come over here, less so. And that's all right, because I can rework it. I dropped the India ink here a couple times, maybe 3 or so layers. I worked this shoreline here with just by doing the same thing in here with the willow, going back and forth, right, to create a texture, an overall texture. So there's a lot going on here. It's still wet. I can't do anything into India ink yet, right? But, excuse me, I can work in here and through in here. So, with the time we have left, which is, sorry about this. I got to get a clock right down there so I can see, right? We're going to work in across in here, right? So what I'm going to do is, so I don't smudge it so much, I'm going to put that down. And I'm just going to go in here. And this is all I'm doing, right? And now if you're in a hurry, right, it's going to work against you. But if you're I want to really describe that tree line, right, and get some action in there, different values and texture, then I'm going to slow down when appropriate, right? I'm going to change how I'm making my marks in here every once in a while. And I'm going to be looking at that up in there and going do I see areas where it's a little lighter and areas where it's a little darker, right? And I'm going to work this just across that shape, right? Now, if I get bored going this way, who's to say I can't change my orientation and come in here and work this way. Right? Now it's going to be harder to work into the sky, but I can alter how I'm making the marks and do something like that. Right? Alright. In here. Now, I think in the first video I was talking about how there's this little field in here that I see. And up there it is. I kept that in there. Right, I'm going to keep that in there, work that. Oh, remember how I also talked about how that shoreline wasn't a straight line across? It's not, right? So you don't want it too wavy, but you don't want it super straight either. So now I look at this and I go like, that's giving me the sensation of a tree line over there. And after I spray it, right, it really should. So, I'm sorry about that second video. Right? Is there anything else? Yeah, we got a couple weeks, today's the 20th, 10, 11, plus 9 is 20 days left in here, guys. Right? I'm going to send out an email with the sign-ups for the next set of talks, and if you have not talked to me, you want to talk to me, and we're down to a minute 19. Oh my gosh. And I hope everybody stayed cool this weekend. Right? Okay, I'm going to do something that I'm asking you not to do, which is the motor through this all that fast, right? But you know what else you can do? And you're going to get different values in there just by blowing the excess of willow off. So this drawing actually is going somewhere, and I'm excited about it, right? And I might use the Conte in there, definitely in there, up in the clouds maybe, and maybe even in that bridge. That dock, alright? Hopefully this video will be publishable. Alright, talk to you soon.